Elisha, known as one of the greatest prophets in the Bible, is a figure of bold faith, miracles, and divine encounters. But beyond the well-known stories, there are incredible details about his life that often go unnoticed. Did you know that Elisha performed twice as many miracles as his mentor Elijah, or that he held the power to turn curses into blessings, even from his own tomb? In this video, we're going to uncover some surprising and little known facts about Elisha that reveal just how extraordinary his life was. So, I want you to join me as we delve into the mysteries, miracles, and powerful lessons from the life of Elisha, because the final fact holds a mystery and a life lesson in one. The first fact is that Elisha had one of the most powerful mentors in the Bible. Elisha's journey began under the mentorship of Elijah, one of the greatest prophets in Israel. Elijah was known for his miracles, like calling fire from heaven and defeating the prophets of Baal. Elisha eagerly followed him, learning directly from a prophet who had experienced God's power in astonishing ways. In 2 Kings 2 verse 9, Elisha asked Elijah for a double portion of his spirit. This request was bold and showed Elisha's desire to carry on his mentor's mission with even great fervor. And as we see, God granted his request. The second fact is that Elisha performed twice as many miracles as Elijah. His life was filled with miraculous works that demonstrated God's power, from healing the sick to multiplying resources for those in need. His double portion of Elijah's spirit was evident as he performed over a dozen miracles, including some of the most unusual in the Bible. Through Elisha, God showed that his power was not limited and that the legacy of faith could grow stronger with each generation. The third fact is that Elisha's first miracle was healing water with salt. Imagine healing water with salt. In 2 Kings 2:19-22, the people of Jericho came to him, complaining that their water was bad, causing death and unproductiveness in the land. Elisha responded by throwing salt into the water, declaring, "This is what the Lord says, I have healed this water." The water was immediately purified and remains fresh to this day. This miracle symbolized the start of Elisha's ministry as a healer of the people, and also highlighted the power of God working through unlikely means, something as simple as salt. The fourth fact about Elisha is that he helped a widow avoid debt slavery. In 2 Kings 4, Elisha demonstrated his compassion for the people, particularly a widow whose sons were about to be taken as slaves because of her debts. He instructed her to gather as many empty jars as possible and to fill them with the little oil she had. Miraculously, the oil multiplied until every jar was filled. She was able to sell the oil, pay her debts, and live off the rest. This story is a powerful example of God's provision and mercy. Elisha not only saved her family from poverty, but also showed how God can multiply even the smallest of resources. The fifth fact is that Elisha fed 100 men with 20 loaves of bread. Now, most of you know the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. But did you know that Elisha performed a similar miracle centuries before the coming of Jesus? In 2 Kings 4 verses 42-44, a man brought Elisha 20 small loaves of barley bread. Elisha instructed him to feed it to 100 men. His servant questioned how such a small amount of money could feed so many, but Elisha assured him that God would provide and that everyone would eat and there would be left over. And it was so. This miracle foreshadows the abundant provision of God, which was seen later in Jesus' ministry. It reminds us that with faith, God can multiply even our smallest offerings. The sixth fact is that Elisha made an iron axe head float. One of the most unusual miracles performed by Elisha involves an axe head. In 2 Kings 6 verse 1-7, while some men were building near the Jordan River, an iron axe head fell into the water. The man who lost it was distressed because it was borrowed. Elisha threw a stick into the water, and the iron axe head miraculously floated to the surface. While this miracle may seem minor, it shows that God cares for the everyday needs of His people. Elisha's miracle was a reminder that no problem is too small for God's attention, and that He deeply cares for our lives. The seventh fact about Elisha is that his bones brought a dead man to life. Perhaps the most astonishing fact about Elisha is that his influence continued even after his death. In 2 Kings 13:20-21, we read that a man who had died was being buried, and that his body was hastily thrown into Elisha's tomb. When the man's body touched Elisha's tomb, he came back to life and stood on his feet. This miracle shows the lasting power of God's Spirit in him, which was so strong that it could resurrect the dead, underscoring the prophet's legacy of power and faith. A bonus fact about Elisha was the incident with the bears. One of the most debated events in Elisha's life involves a rather unusual encounter with a group of youths. In 2 Kings 2:23-25, as Elisha was traveling to Bethel, a group of young people mocked him, shouting, "Go up, Baldy! Go up, Baldy!" This wasn't just a casual teasing, it was a serious insult, mocking both Elisha's appearance and his role as a prophet. Elisha called to God to deal with the disrespect, and 2 bears came out of the forest, injuring 42 of them. It serves as a powerful reminder of the respect and reverence due to God's people. The incident teaches us that our words and attitudes towards God's messengers matter. It's a warning against mocking what is sacred, and it reminds us that God's protection surrounds His servants. Elisha's story is a powerful reminder that God's power is always available to us. Let's strive to live with the same faith, courage, and compassion that Elisha showed. If you've watched up to this point, support the channel by sharing this message to others. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified on any video I post. Until next time, remember that with God, all things are possible. See you in the next video.